The daily schedule and activities of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen remains unparalleled throughout the year, and 2025 was no different. An unbroken chain of weekly Friday sermons, meetings with thousands of Ahmadi guests and families, as well as office bearers throughout each week. Sittings with dozens of international delegations of Amla members and groups of Khudam, Ansar and Lajna-e Maila. Attendance of conferences, various ijtamaat and a number of addresses to key jalsas of other countries. With multiple addresses for Jalsa Salana Germany now a regular occurrence for 2 years.
आज दुनिया भर में फैले हुए अहमदियों का हज़रत मसीह मऊद अलैहिस्सलाम की बैत का हक़ अदा करने की कोशिश करना, इस्लाम के पैगाम को दुनिया में फैलाने के लिए जान, माल और वक्त को कुर्बान करना, इस बात का सबूत है कि हज़रत मिर्ज़ा ग़ुलाम अहमद क़ादियानी अलैहिस्सलाम ही वो शख्स हैं जिन्हें इस ज़माने में अल्लाह ताला ने इस्लाम की नशत सानिया के लिए भेजा। बग़ैर अल्लाह ताला की ताईद और नुसरत के ये मुमकिन नहीं था कि यूँ दुनिया के कोने कोने से लोग आपके हल्का बैत में आ जाते।
All this is brought to you by MTA throughout the year, and even these are just some of the many activities of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen. However, looking at the world stage and current state of affairs, the various pieces of advice Huzoor grants the many public officials, politicians and dignitaries that meet Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen is another living proof of a divine leader taking every step he can for the delivery of justice to those that need it most. Today we bring you just some of these selections of guidance that have taken place throughout the second half of 2025 and the first half of 2026, among the hundreds of other activities we already get to see.
इमाम वक्त से एक रिश्ता इश्को वफा रखना, इमाम वक्त से एक रिश्ता इश्को वफा रखना.
I know of no other community in our country who persistently and continually bangs the drum for peace and brings people together from all faiths and none, so we can have the dialogue that is so essential both in our own country and between countries to mark the cause of peace. And His Holiness, as a world leader, is the person who speaks out most on the need for peace and the need for bringing people together. And while he has warned of the dangers, he also points the way forward.
In a world fractured by turmoil, economic decline, and spreading conflict, one figure is calling humanity back towards God. Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community, stands as a leader for all who will listen, regardless of faith. And his message is simple: only a return towards our Creator can pull the world back from this precipice.
अरब और इस्लामी ममालिक की बात नहीं समझते कि ज़बरदस्ती, धौंस, गलत तरीक़ों और दजाली चालों से हमें एक ऐसी जगह फंसाया जा रहा है जहां हम अपने ही एक मुसलमान मुल्क से जंग करेंगे। मुसलमानों को मुसलमानों से ही लड़ाया जा रहा है। इस्लाम तौहीद के क़याम के लिए आया, इसलिए इसकी कोशिश करनी चाहिए बड़ी ताकतों को अपना खुदा ना समझें, क्योंकि हमेशा रहने वाली ताकत सिर्फ खुदा ताला की है। अगर इन बड़ी ताकतों को ही सब कुछ समझ लिया तो फिर ये लोग एक एक करके तमाम इस्लामी दुनिया पर कब्ज़ा कर लेंगे और ये जो ज़ाहिरी हुकूमतें हैं ये भी ख़त्म हो जाएंगी। बस अब भी वक्त है, होश करने की ज़रूरत है। खुदा ताला की तरफ झुकें। इन दुनियादारों ने दुनिया का अमन सुकून और ख़ास तौर पर मुस्लिम दुनिया का अमन सुकून बर्बाद किया है और आइंदा भी करेंगे। मुसलमान हुकूमतें अब भी समझ जाएं और सिर्फ़ अपने मुल्की मफादात को नहीं बल्कि मुस्लिम उम्मा के मफादात को सामने रखें और किसी भी किस्म की गद्दारी की मुर्तकिब ना हों, तो अब भी एक हद तक बचत हो सकती है। मिल बैठकर मसाइल हल करने की कोशिश करें। जब वो तौहीद का दावा करने वाले हैं तो उन्हें तौहीद व क़याम के लिए एक होना चाहिए।
It is always a special honor to meet His Holiness, a man of integrity, of compassion, and a promoter of peace. And I came to express my gratitude to him for being a voice for humanity in a very divided world. I'm very grateful to him, having had the opportunity to seek his wisdom, and frankly, just to be inspired that the world can be better through unity, collaboration, and a commitment to the values of freedom and the rule of law.
His Holiness's message is one the world resists, and the opposition begins within the Islamic world itself.
दुआ में सबसे पहले पाकिस्तान के उन अहमदियों के लिए दुआ करें जो ज़ालिमाना कानून की वजह से जान और माल की कुर्बानियाँ तो दे रहे हैं, लेकिन उनकी इबादतों पर भी रोके हैं और पाबंदियाँ हैं। इबादतें वो खुल के कर नहीं सकते, ईद पढ़ने पर भी पाबंदियाँ हैं, वो जानवरों की कुर्बानियाँ भी नहीं दे सकते। वो तो खैर दूर की बात है, घर में चार दीवारी के अंदर ईद की नमाज भी नहीं पढ़ सकते। और जो असल मुजरम हैं वहाँ जिन्होंने मुल्क में फसाद पैदा किया हुआ है, उन्हें पकड़ने वाला कोई नहीं।
In Pakistan, Ahmadiyya Muslims are legally forbidden from practicing their faith, with similar restrictions now spreading to other parts of the world. Despite this, under the leadership of Khilafat, the community continues to expand, carrying what it views as the true message of Islam to the corners of the earth.
The opening of this mosque here, the Bait-ul-Arim Mosque here in Cardiff, is a proud and historic moment, not only for your community, but for everyone in Wales who shares your commitment to diversity, inclusion, and community cohesion. And of course, that guiding principle, love for all, hatred for none, is a powerful message. It resonates deeply with us and reflects the values at the heart of Wales and indeed of the Welsh Government. The Ahmadiyya Muslim Community's tireless work to promote peace, harmony and justice through interfaith dialogue, charitable initiatives and outreach strengthens our society, from fundraising for local charities and supporting humanitarian relief to hosting peace symposiums, youth engagement programs. You show how faith can truly be a force for good.
But Your Holiness, we really thank you for the support. Humanity First has been supporting a lot in Tanzania and the social services, education, health, water.
I last visited Tanzania a long time ago in 2005.
Yes.
And I traveled from Dar es Salaam to Morogoro.
Yes.
And then to Dodoma.
Yes.
And we were installing our hand pumps there for population.
First of all, I was very much impressed. His Holiness is very well briefed about the situation around the world. And one good advice that is given to the African continent is to be independent, to be ready to take its rightful position, to be able to stand on their own, because under the current global trends, Africa has a good chance of being a leader in the global arena.
The community's call is simple: build a deep relationship with God and serve humanity. 2025 marked the 30th anniversary of Humanity First International, serving as a reminder of our duty to help others based on our common humanity.
Inspiring true service to humanity amongst his followers was a core objective of the advent of the promised Messiah, al-Islam. He repeatedly emphasized the necessity of helping those in need.
Today, nowhere is that mission being tested more than in Gaza.
In reality, it is the local Humanity First team on the ground in Gaza who are especially deserving of our thanks and prayers. They have been motivated and driven only by a profound desire to demonstrate the mercy and compassion at the heart of Islamic teachings. Every penny spent by Humanity First in Gaza has reached the people on the ground, bringing them desperately needed comfort and relief. Indeed, other well-known aid agencies and charities have commended Humanity First's efforts.
I'm totally impressed by the work that is being done here and His Holiness' willingness to meet with me for such a long time, and it was terrific. It was very, very, very impressive to hear him talk about the poor, and I thought I explained where we are going in terms of decreasing the level of poverty in our country. Very, very, very glad to hear him say that once you can bring people together, the country will prosper.
His Holiness's words really resonated with what is happening in the world. It meant so much to hear what he had to say. Before, I felt that peace, the words about peace, can actually be possibly empty, but with His Holiness, he grounds it in his religious beliefs, but also in beliefs that resonate with all of us.
At this year's Peace Symposium, Huzoor emphasized that everyone must strive towards peace by upholding the principles of justice.
Islam teaches us to strive relentlessly for good and never give up. And what greater good could there be than striving to save humanity from self-destruction? If we do not put a halt to the warfare, violence, hatred, and injustice that is rapidly corroding the fabric of modern society, it shall not only cause widespread devastation in our lifetimes, but shall cast a long shadow over the lives of the generations that follow.
I thought His Holiness preached a very wise and truthful message about the needs of our time for peace. I share his concern that at the moment we're living through very troubled times, times where the international order has really broken down. We've seen major powers in the world behaving without integrity, and I think now is more important than ever is that we stand up for the principles of peace and justice. So I really support what His Holiness was saying.
But to carry a message to the world, a community must first build itself, renewing its purpose year after year. Each year, tens of thousands gather from across the globe for their annual convention. Speaking at the Jalsa Salana in Qadian, His Holiness reminded us that these are no ordinary gatherings.
आपको अल्लाह ताला ने इस ज़माने में इसलिए मबूस फरमाया था कि जो लोग इस्लाम की तालीम को भूल चुके हैं और अल्लाह ताला से दूर हट रहे हैं, उनको दोबारा खुदा ताला के करीब लाया जाए और इस्लाम की तालीम के बारे में उनको बताकर उन्हें दोबारा अमली तौर पर वो मुसलमान बनाया जाए जो कि हज़रत सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम बनाना चाहते थे। ये वही मकसद है जिसके लिए अल्लाह ताला ने हज़रत सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम को मबूस फरमाया था और आपने अपने सहाबा में पाक तब्दीलियाँ पैदा करके इनको अमली मुसलमान बनाया था। अगर हमें हज़रत मसीह मौऊद अलैहिस्सलाम की दुआओं का वारिस बनना है और ख़ास तौर पर इन दुआओं का वारिस बनना है जो जलसा में शामिल होने वालों के लिए आपने की हैं, तो हमें हमेशा इन बातों को अपने सामने रखना होगा।
Countless individuals seek guidance directly from Huzoor, irrespective of their faith. But Huzoor pays special attention to the moral training of the community, regularly addressing various auxiliary organizations within the Jamaat.
Never forget that you have been born with a grand purpose, to lead the world back to its Creator. If ignorant people allege that you are imprisoned by your faith, prove them wrong and show them just how powerful and strong you are. Confidently tell them that we are truly liberated and free from the shackles of materialism, injustice, and vulgarity that imprison modern society.
I was so blown away with the opportunity to meet His Holiness and be able to talk to him about the issues that I am facing as a Member of Parliament, the things that are important, the things that are problematic in my community and in the world at the moment. His Holiness talked about actually how important it is that we support our young people and give them, even more time and attention. Growing up in the world is a really challenging place at the moment, and so we've got to do even more with our young people to give them the support that they need to be able to cope with this world.
The core objective of all ijtimas held by the auxiliary organizations within our Jamaat is to instill a love of Allah and to elevate the intellectual, moral, and spiritual standards of their members.
This is just a glimpse into the work of a global figure. No book or documentary can fully capture his tireless efforts. The dedication of a man truly devoted to bringing mankind closer to God.
खिलाफत क्या है एक फजले